What's up YouTube, Dale from Z4 Games, bringing you my Nationals Yusenju Demise deck profile. Now, I ran this at Nationals. I did okay. For something that was facing a heck of a ton of zoos, I kind of built and went with a deck that I was kind of like, you know, I don't want to go meta, I just want to try and see how much disruption I can play and go against the meta, and kind of how well we do with it, and see what we can do. I've also got my side deck here as well, so I will go through that at the end. Without further ado, I'm going to crack straight into this for you guys, and we'll start off with the monsters. So, monster lineup is very, very straightforward and simple. We play triple Yusenju Karma 1. Now, Yusenju Karma 1, when there's another Yusenju monster on the board, you can target one monster, one face-up card your opponent controls, and bounce it to the hand. So this is very, very helpful when they made Masterpiece that wasn't immune to monster effects. So this was the thing with my deck. I wanted to have them make sure that I had outs to Masterpiece, both monster effects and spells and traps, depending on what my opponent made them immune to. So Yusenju Karma 1 was there to bounce if need be, and it could also bounce any face-up card that was causing me an issue. You play triple Yusenju Karma 2. This card can attack directly when you have another Yusenju. So this card could just basically attack directly, but it does half damage. So he was very, very useful that if I like quaking my opponent's board, or if I didn't want to destroy my opponent's board, I could just attack directly and keep poking away at them. Triple Yusenju Karma 3. When another Yusenju monster does battle damage to your opponent, you get to search out a Yusenju card. So he was quite helpful to kind of circle around the plays. And then we play the one Yusenju Suki. This card basically gives any other Yusenju an extra K. So he can make himself a 2K, or he can make a 28, which is very, very helpful, or 29 with Tenki on board. Then we wrap it up with one Gravekeeper's Commandant. This is very, very helpful because I did play Necro Valley, and my god, Necro Valley was near enough the MVP of this deck. It was so, so good. Gravekeeper's Commandant helped out massively. And worst case scenario, instead of playing stuff like Terraforming, Gravekeeper's Commandant can be normal summoned and he gets an extra 500 boost, so he goes to a 21 beater, and was very, very helpful. Plus, he works out quite nicely if you do Demise, because you play off Demise. One time I drew into him a spell and a trap, and I already had 3 spells and traps done. So the best thing was I could discard this guy, get my Necro Valley, activate my Necro Valley, set my 2 spells, and I didn't have to discard anything. So he was massively, massively helpful. I then played 2 Droll and Lockbirds and 1 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Now you might be like, what the hell? Now, again, basically the way I built this deck was, if I lose a dice roll, I need to have outs. I can't just sit there and let my opponent go off, so I needed to main some sort of hand traps. There were a couple of times because of Demise where this bit me in the butt, but there were times where, because I opened up with these, I disrupted my opponent's plays and kind of was able to go into the game. So these were a catch-22. This could easily be a Ghost Ogre. I couldn't decide. Like, I was quite undecisive. It was a 42 card deck. I was like, alright, I need some hand traps in. Droll and Lockbird is the main one. I didn't have enough space in my side deck, so I was like, what can I put into my main deck? So I was like, right, okay, I put 1 Ash Blossom in, and it worked out really, really well for me. So, you know, I was quite happy with that. So that's it for the monsters. Very, very, you know, about maybe a quarter of the deck. So just over a quarter of the deck, and it's very, very good, very, very helpful. And all Yusenjus kind of did their work. Now onto the spells. Now with the Demise, you're going to be playing triple card of Demise, very, very straightforward. There were times when I was praying to see this. If I top decked this at any point during a late game, I would have won the game. And I didn't see it. And there were times like, don't be Demise, don't be Demise. And it was Demise, and I kind of, you know, I think my worst Demise of the day was I demised into another Demise and a Ghost Ogre. But you know, that was my worst case. But it did come into massive help. I then play triple 5 formation Tenki purely because these can be any of the Yusenju monsters, such that all the Yusenju monsters gives them an extra 100. You know, and sometimes it was actually a really, really nice bait, because when people didn't know what I was playing, I would activate Tenki and they would think I'm playing Zoo, so they would crack straight into that and get rid of it. Double Pot of Duality, purely because you know, you don't special summon in this deck very often, and Duality helps out massively, massively well. Double MST, because I needed some back row hate and clearance. These can be taken out if you wish, or these can be twin twists, these can be whatever you wanted. Purely, I just went with MSTs because I did need some sort of back row hate, should I need it. Double Necro Valley, like I said, this card was near enough MVP. This shut down the zoo combos. This shut down the masterpieces. The second I hit this on the board, people kept forgetting about it. They didn't expect Necro Valley to hit the board, and then when they did, they were trying to do stuff. I was like, you can't, Necro Valley's there, and they were like, you know. And it also, for zoos, it exhorted them. They had to go into their Dryden to then pop this to then go off, which was very, very nice to make them exhort their resources and not end with a Dryden, because Dryden can be massively disruptive. I then wrapped it up with a Dark Hole and a Raigeki because I wanted to make sure I had main deck board wipes. And again, like I said, I wanted outs to Masterpiece at all times. And then the one D-Fissure. This was more useful against like some of the rogue decks like Dinosaurs and some Pendulum decks. And of course, Dracos. Less so against Zoos, but it did disrupt them. They did kind of have to second guess what was going on and, you know, think about what they were doing, which is why it made it so helpful. Anyway, that's it for the spells. Again, probably about another quarter of the deck right there for you. Now finishing it off on the traps. Now, I played double DDG, purely because I knew there might be some 60 card decks, and being able to hit a DDG on them when they activate Grass is always awesome. And the fact that, you know, if my opponent was like, right, I'm going to MST that card, or I'm going to do this, 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 this. Unlike D-Fissure, I could chain this, and they're stuck for the turn. This actually put in quite a bit of work, because when I went first, when my opponent wanted to do something, I would activate DDG, and it would kind of disrupt their plays. They would have to then pass and not do as much as they wanted to, which was the aim of the deck. That's what I was going for the deck. What I will mention as well is, when you activate DDG and when you activate D-Fissure, people can't use certain hand traps against you. Some hand traps say they have to go to grave. So, with stuff like Ghost Ogre, my opponent couldn't Ghost Ogre me if DDG, Macross Cosmo, or D-Fissure were in play, which was awesome, which is why it's quite helpful against in Dracos, because if in Dracos you activate D-Fissure, they can't draw on Lockbird you, because if you actually look at the word and on draw on Lockbird, so Ash Blossom's different because it just says you discard this card to negate. Draw on Lockbird actually says during each player's turn, you send this card from your hand to the graveyard. It doesn't go to the graveyard, so you won't get its effect, which is the exact same as Ghost Ogre. So stuff like DDG and D-Fissure are actually massively more helpful than you first think. Then I play a Mirror Force lineup, so I play double Drowning, double Quaking, and a single Mirror Force. I did take out a Drowning for a Mirror Force right at the last minute, purely because I liked the range, and I thought sometimes I do want to clear my opponent's board. Double Solemn Strike and a single Solemn Warning, just for, you know, if I'm going first, Zoo plays. People don't like back row, and I don't think people were prepared for Paleos. That's what I was thinking. So a couple of Paleos actually did really, really well in that, because not many people prepared for them, because they were kind of like, oh, Paleo's dead, they haven't got an out to Masterpiece, da 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 da. So not many people prepared for them, which is why I played like this, because I could get away with using the back row. TT, again, that came in massive, massive handy, because if they go Masterpiece, right, let's make him immune by spells and traps, buff, we'll put them on the, monsters and spells, so I can't Raigeki or Dark Column or anything, and then during their turn they would go, right, I'm going to extend my Zoo play, normal summon Trident, TT, buff, whole board's gone. One Macro Cosmo and one Yusenju Secret Move. Secret Move purely because it was searchable through Yusenju Karma 3. I did slide this out quite a lot, because the main kind of cards that people were playing against me in the battle phase were Ghost Ogres, which DDG, Macross Cosmo, and D-Fissure kind of helped with. So that is it for the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. Okay, so I played one Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. This was mainly to kind of get a big beater on board, then search out the Tenki, activate the Tenki so that I had a Yusenju in hand, so that I was ready to extend my plays for the next turn and leave a monster on board for a bit of protection. Lightning Chidori, again, very, very good in this deck to bounce a set card back to the bottom and a normal card back to, face-up card back to the top. I could circle my opponent's board so that it could kind of got looped. Tornado Dragon, MVP in one of my games. Such a great card, such good artwork, awesome. Like, absolutely, I can't speak high for this card. Really, really good. Number 103, Ragnar Zero. Now, this one was from Donald. Donald did suggest this for me, which I am so glad he did. This is an out-and-out to dinos. So like anything like True Kings, if they've got the field spell in play, True Kings and Masterpiece, True Kings and Dracos, this is an out and out, which is awesome, so good, so useful to me, and absolutely helped out massively. Then if people were playing a more budget version of Dinosaurs, which there were quite a lot of dinos out there, Ragnar Zero was an out and out to that. It was such a good card. Utopia package, never went into this. You very rarely go into your extra deck. Like, some of these cards were just one-offs. You know, I went into them once or twice, but when you do, they kind of win you the game. 1 Castell, 1 Diamond Direwolf, 1 Abyss Dweller, the Zodiac engine, so Broadball and Trident. Obviously, Broadball could then search out my monster if I wanted him to, but then I detach material, and Trident could then obviously be disruptive during my opponent's turn. Gargoyle Samurai to help push the game, Gargoyle Cowboy to help push the game, and you have no idea, this actually did win me a game, so you've got to love Cowboy. And then number 82, Heartland Draco, purely because it can attack directly and you do have loads of face-up spells. And again, the final suggestion from Donald is Harpy's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, purely because they can't get over it. Like, so this card's effect can only be applied while it has XYZ material, and it requires 3 wind monsters, which is doable in Yusenju's. This card can attack your opponent directly, so straight away you have the ability to do 6k directly to your opponent. Your opponent cannot target any Harpy monster with effects or for attacks. During each of your end phases, detach 1 material. So, they couldn't Trident me, they couldn't Masterpiece me, and I could attack directly. So he was actually very, very good to help grind the game out. Now, what I will say about Yusenju's, which, you know, is kind of common knowledge, is that they don't have a killer instinct in them, unfortunately. It is reliant on all the back row, which is why it wouldn't dominate and absolutely wreck the game. It's still very, very good. It was nice to play something that wasn't pure meta at Nationals, and I did have quite a lot of fun playing it. So now onto my side deck. Double D barrier. Now, this was purely because of the zoos and stuff like that. More zoos than the rest. And, you know, if I lost the first game and I was going to go first, I'm going into D barriers if they were useful. Chaos Trap Holes, because if by chance my opponent did have Denkos, or these were another out to my Masterpiece, so I'd take the strikes out and put these in. Double Master Restrict. I never actually, I think I put this in like once, I think. Purely because I would rather have Chaos Trap Holes in my deck than Master Restrict, because they do have just natural outs to Master Restrict. Second I flip it, they can use Field Spell and, you know, go off. Second Ash Blossom, just because. Double Ghost Ogre, again, if I win the game 1, I know they're going to want to go first, so I take out some traps and put in my hand traps. And then we wrapped it up with the Kaiju engine. So 2 interrupted Kaiju Slumbers and then 4 Kaiju. So the 4 Kaijus I chose were Kumongus, the Sticky String Kaiju, Dorgron, the Mad Flame Kaiju, Jizukyuru, the Star Destroying Kaiju, and Gameciel, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. So yeah, you know, Kaijus are pretty standard and straightforward in this deck. Not in this deck, just in any side deck. Same with your hand traps. And then these cards, Chaos Trap Hole is probably the only one that you might not play in most of your decks, but, you know, I just found it quite useful. And then Master Restricts with the Dracos and the D Barriers for the Zoos. So that is it. That is it for my National Yusenju Demise deck profile. You know, I had a bit of fun with it. A couple of people were surprised that I actually did as well as I did with it. I did only play it purely for fun, so just for a bit of a change, because I know the second that the second I go to Euros, it's going to be, you know, a bit of pendulums here and there. So I will be bringing you Michael's top-in Dino Yangzing deck profile. That will be coming later on. This evening I just need to tie him down. Congratulations to the rest of the Zephyr lads that did really, really well at Nationals. Bring on Euros, basically. We do also have a new Facebook page, so don't forget to check that out in the link in the description below. That will keep you up to date with all things happening in Zephyr, all things in the Yu-Gi-Oh! World, and we will be going through like cards of the days, new card releases, and stuff like that. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course, duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left-hand corner.